Hannah, with 4 boats, doesn't really change the dynamic a whole lot, a little tighter at the start. Where do you want to be, especially knowing these characters that you're lined up against?
Well, I think we've seen that the leg to Mark 1 could be pretty long, so you've got to not only be fast at the gun, but you've also got to be sailing the optimal angle. So we'll have to see where that is dependent on the shift, but with 4 boats, it is going to be a different dynamic.
And we'll keep our eye on the wind. As Lisa Darman has been reporting throughout the day, the wind is dropping off. There you see the wind lines there. As you see the direction and the strength. So it will be the Bons Flying Roos that go to the very back of the start box. Switzerland turns in front of them. There's Artemis. They turn in front of them as well. So it's already getting a little messy, Stevie. And here comes Spain.
Yeah, those 2 boats, bottom right-hand corner, that are together are going to be potentially slowing each other up. Interesting fact, we saw it on that graphic before. Australia, they've won a lot of events. Spain have won a lot of events. The Swiss and the Swedish have never won an event in SailGP. Let's keep that in mind as we watch things, as the Rolex pole predictor sits on top of the Swiss boat at the top of the line. Middle of the line's a favoured place to be. I like where Artemis is right now. It's all going to be about the wind-up and the strike, though, from here, as we see Los Gallos dive below Artemis. They come in fast. Great position for Botin, and now we're looking for the line to turn white. It's going to be blanket start. Oh, wow. Take a look at it. That's why they're paid the big bucks as they come out of the line, blazing towards Mark 1. Fastest angle for the Swiss. Tactical advantage to the Australians, but I think the Spanish are perfectly positioned to lead at Mark 1.
And you couldn't have dialed it up any better. 4 wide as they approach Mark 1. This is the event final here in Halifax. 4 boats competing for top honors.
It's tight on the overlap. I think that the Spanish are still just about in control at Mark 1. Just. Oh, that was brilliant there. So now, big advantage to the Spanish. They're lining things up down the course, but you've got to execute this first manoeuvre. Artemis, they spin away. Got to make something happen. Roll the dice time. Rolex sprint leader Diego Botin. Accurate manoeuvres. Look at the breeze on the shoreline. Lovely gust of wind where the Spanish are right now. Vamos, I understand that. Let's go, guys.
Look at that breeze holding 20 kilometers, just dipping below across the course. Explore Swiss as we go on board, doing a great job making it to the final. They've never won an event. Is today the day for Sebastian Schneider and his crew?
They've done a nice job. They've set in that extra breeze down the boundary. I suspect we probably look for most teams to take that right turn if they can. So Spain in the box seat, Explorer Swiss, where they shut down the second. I like the angle where Spain are. Should be able to do a fast exit from here and now. Are you patient on Artemis, or do you split? I think you've got to be patient. It looks like a big bias to the right turn at the bottom here.
So as they reach gate number 2, the DP World Gate here in the event final, it is Spain out in front. Explorer Swiss comes in second. The Bons Flying Roos in third, and Artemis, the rookie team, they sit in fourth.
They're going to spin it on the mark, I think, Todd. They're going to go for a turn straight round here. And a tricky manoeuvre, that.
Yeah, really hard to pull off, but it looks like they've done it really nicely. I think if you're at the back, you want an open course, you want options. Whereas if you're at the front, like Los Gallos, you're really happy to see everyone following behind you.
And interesting there, because they did it right on the mark, they were over speed for a tricky manoeuvre, and it's not easy foiling manoeuvres out there. So actually Artemis have gained a lot, because look, you see the Swiss manoeuvre on the side, but they fall off the foils. Clever sailing for the Swedish team there. Nice gain. Lisa, that was pretty clever by Artemis. Where do you see the breeze right now?
Yeah, it's not so much where the breeze is, but it looks like the angle is what's sort of hurting everyone that didn't do that manoeuvre. So Artemis, everyone else is sort of pointing towards the back of Artemis, so I'm expecting them to kind of sail around the bow. So big move by Nathan there. But what we're seeing is that the top of the course is very different to the bottom of the course. So as the next couple of minutes, I think that right-hand side where they're going is really going to start to pay.
We'll see if Lisa is the proverbial Nostradamus in Halifax right now as Artemis makes the turn. Look what's waiting for him. There is Spain right there. They'll dip behind. It is still the Spanish out in front. Artemis now inherits second place. Here comes the Bons Flying Roos as Switzerland has to dip behind them.
I mean, brilliant by the Spanish. They might not have been perfect at the bottom gate, but they've got themselves right back in. Spain have got to be careful. If the Swedish team can get alongside, it will be right of way then, but the Spanish have gapped off. They're nearly 7 kilometers an hour slower, though. This one's going to be tight. Do you think about the Swiss team anymore as those top 3, Hannah, or have they got themselves out of the battle? Different sort of thought process with 4 boats?
Yeah, I think it is a different thought process, but I think the thing is with these 3 boats is they are in phase with the shift and the pressure, so they'll be pretty confident that the Swiss are not in phase, so they should be gaining on the Swiss all of the time. I think if these 3 boats find themselves out of phase, then it's a slightly different conversation.
Yeah, Diego asking Nicole, tell me when they set up. So she's already gone to the other side of the boat. She's watching for some of the Swedish and some of the Australian sailors cross the boat. Brilliant manoeuvre by the Swedish. They make it ahead, and if Slingsby going to keep this amazing run he's been on alive, he's got to make something happen soon here. I suspect all the teams will follow each other right now and wait for the next mistake to play out.
One, down, fast turn, and hit it. Joey. Front edge, no?
So on to leg number 4 of 7 here in the event final. Los Gallos still with the lead. Artemis sits in second. Here comes the Bonds Flying Ruse.
Spain lead the manoeuvre there. That's an interesting call here.
Better pressure the other way, you're right.
Yeah, so they all like there's more wind in towards the fans on the shoreline, is what Slingsby's suggesting. So I think it's a bit of a roll of the dice for Australia right now.
20 boundary.
You see Slingsby looking around. He's not sure of this call.
Hannah, what's he looking for? Tom Slingsby's got his head on a swivel.
Yeah, that's right. And the breeze is really changeable. We know that it's dropping. They've split slightly, and at the moment it doesn't look like it's the right decision, so they'll have to wait a little bit and see. They'll definitely be disappointed to be in third at the moment, and I think probably just keeping pressure on Artemis would have been the thing to do there.
I think because the Spanish, the one advantage normally of leading is you can see things and make the first decision. The disadvantage of leading is you've got to make the decision.
Yeah.
If you're in a sort of slower boat, slower moving things, you can often wait for the other people to make a call. Diego was very positive with his decision making there, and that then closed all the options down for the Australians quickly. Another point coming here. Looks like there's less distance for the left turn. So again, potentially the Swedish team are going, oh no, it looks like they're setting up on board Sweden. Outridge is potentially going to split the course here, or look for an early manoeuvre as he did last time. Yeah, expect the Swedish to spin on the mark again.
Right here and soft.
Over speed, should be able to stay foiling.
Yeah, there it is.
I say that, but it's one of the most complicated manoeuvres you can do in sailing. So, but it was brilliantly executed using that extra boat speed that they had, and they're now foiling. Can Spain stay foiling? They're too slow on the numbers. Brilliant by the Swedish again, and they're sailing back towards that side of the course. Lisa, what are you seeing? It's been good on by the fans before. Is this the chance for Artemis?
Yeah, Artemis are in a really strong position here. The pressure sort of moved down the course and strong all the way to the shore. So I think that the Spanish have a bit on here with just a couple manoeuvres left.
So we're on leg 5 of 7. It is Artemis that has now moved, not quite in the lead, but as Lisa pointed out, a strong position. They have never won in SailGP before. Their driver, Nathan Outridge, very experienced, but can Los Gallos get their first win of Season 6? The champions in Season 4 trying to desperately hold on to this first place position.
Yeah, and they've managed to keep themselves out of phase. You want to be going the opposite direction to the boat ahead. If he'd waited longer, it would have been an easy decision for the Spanish to make. It's aggressive from the Artemis team here, and they're in a good breeze. You see it's quite a dark patch of water there, so Spain still have a good lead. One manoeuvre ahead is Artemis. But when they meet each other next time, if it's close, Sweden will have the right of way.
Look at the speed on tour up Sweden's mast there at 50 kilometers an hour. Spain has dropped down to 38.
Just takes so long to build speed out of the manoeuvres with these big foils. So looking a little bit better for Artemis just now.
Yeah, theoretical ladder lines are that way. Favouring, still going 10 kilometres an hour faster. There's just got to be more breeze where Artemis is at the moment. The wind whisperer feels like he's whispering. There you go, if they stick this manoeuvre. Oh, can they stay foiling?
It's gonna be
Spanish
close.
set up, Spanish set up. Oh, Artemis are ahead on paper. They're ahead on paper at the moment. The Bonds Flying Ruse are out the back. They've lost a lot here. What do you do on board Artemis? I think it's a right turn favoured. Spain will do the opposite to the Swedish, I would suggest. Here we go. Well, it's going to come down to where there's more wind. They're going to be absolutely neck and neck at the top of the course. 2 more manoeuvres to do for Spain, 1 more for Artemis. Who finds more breeze on the downwind leg? Can Artemis win their first ever race in SailGP?
Or will Spain win their first of the 2026 season, the champions of Season 4? They've been in a bit of a drought. They've been in some finals, but they are looking for the win.
Yeah, there's the Oracle Cloud, Hannah. It looks like a little bit more wind on the Swedish, but Spain look like they've got a good angle. It's potentially a gain to the Spanish at the moment.
Yeah, they did have an extra manoeuvre to do, but it looks like they've pulled that off quite painlessly, and it's going to be really close here.
As soon as you're going downwind, Todd,
Yeah.
the manoeuvres aren't as painful. Yep, Spain have got it
Yep.
right. Oh, what a cool Botine at the top of the course there.
Here we go, leg 6 of 7. It's a right-hand turn, and then a championship is win distance. Here comes Nathan Outteridge and Artemis. They're speeding on. Here's the maneuver of the match. Can Diego Botine and his crew pull it off? A stay up on the foils, and it's a right-hand turn and a drag race to a win.
2, 1, up.
Spain are nearly matching speed, I think, with Artemis now. If Artemis have got to try and dive outside and look to overlap.
Nice.
Disturbed wind onto the Swedish right now. The Swedish should be getting slowed by the Spanish, and it's control to Los Gallos.
As they come to the finish line, vamos, Los Gallos. They will claim the victory and take the win in Halifax.
Oh, what a race. Oh, I've got to say, the last 2 races today were absolutely incredible. Both of them involving this Spanish team.
They've been in third twice, they've been in second twice, but their first win comes in Canada as they get it done in Event 7. And how about this? Explorer Swiss said, you know what? We want to be on the podium. Explorer Swiss will hold on for third place as they get around the Bonds Flying Ruse. Great work by Sebastian Snyder. And Tom Slingsby's run of victories, 3 in a row, comes to an end as the Bonds Flying Ruse will finish in 4th.
Yeah, but he still extended his lead in that race to Abu Dhabi. And I think for Artemis, second, they'll be gutted. They just probably got their nose ahead in theory, but they were tactically a little bit out of position in that race. But in their race to Abu Dhabi, massive weekend for Artemis.
Vamos.